Thanks.
And where are you calling from?
I'm in Canada, but I'm in the process of moving to Italy. So yes, so I one of my friends in Switzerland, well, actually, one fellow Toastmaster sent me this.
Okay, cool.
Christina Gomez. And I realized I was invited to a second one. He's going to be speaking at a Mexican club at 6 in the evening today, and I forgot that it's over here in North America and not over there, and I'm busy at that time, so I thought I'd take it in. I'm sure it's the same speech. Yes, it's
well,
nice to meet you.
You can give him some feedback to see how well he does.
Okay.
And here comes the man himself. So he doesn't realize, well, maybe he does actually realize he's been evaluated, and then he's going to be evaluated again tonight in Mexico. Mr. Peck.
Pedro.
Richard, how are you doing?
I'm doing well. How are you, my friend?
Very well, thank you. We can't see you. Is that a cunning disguise that you've got?
That could be intentional.
Hey, there he is. Very good to see you again.
Likewise. How are you doing, my friend?
Very well. We have a few of your fans who have been following you around the world.
Bruce, I see Anton, I see Daphne. Daphne belongs to the first club that we started in Montserrat this year. So she's one of the very newest clubs that we have in the organization.
Fantastic. Yes, she just mentioned that, which is
yes. And the president actually came to our charter ceremony. I invited him, not expecting him, and whoa, lo and behold, he turned up.
He does things like this. He does the unexpected.
It was a good unexpected.
Absolutely. And who else have we got with us? Aida, or Ada, however you pronounce your name.
And we have also Ola from Texas. Welcome.
Hello, Ola.
Hola, Joseph. Thank you for coming.
Hello.
Hello, everyone.
Hello, Aida.
And we have Gemma and Pilar.
And Elena.
And more people coming on board. Elena.
Thank you for having me.
Pleasure to meet you, Ola.
Thank you.
I think I've seen you somewhere before.
Yeah.
I was at one of your meetings before.
Ah, that would be why. That'd be why.
Sardinero too.
That's it. Julian.
He's coming.
He's around somewhere.
Pedro, we heard you were serving food. That's why we all showed up.
Well, I would love to share food because we have the master chef with us, Elena, who normally brings lots of wonderful fruit and vegetables and turns it into table topics. I'm not sure what she's got with us today, so I'm afraid you're going to have a virtual think about it. No chocolate cake tonight, Richard. Sorry about that.
Today, no fruit, no chocolate, no nothing.
Ah, well, there we go. We've been told nothing today.
Well, it's been nice seeing you all.
Well,
please contact me again in the near future.
It's been a pleasure having you, Richard. Your speech was absolutely fantastic, and we look forward to meeting you at the next one. Oh dear.
Hello, Marisa from Zaragoza. Are you from Zaragoza, Marisa Rada? Yes?
Yes, hello.
Welcome to.
Good afternoon, everybody.
Hello. And hello, Berit.
Hello.
Nice to see you. Nice to see you again.
Yeah, so great opportunity.
Absolutely.
For those of you who may not realize it, Pedro and I have known each other for a number of years now, and that's why we get around with this little bit of sparring from time to time.
Doesn't happen often.
And also a lot of people apologize because it's summer and it's difficult to connect. So many people wanted to come to listen our president, but it was not the best day. But fortunately, we are a lot of people here too.
Okay. Julian, are you ready? You're looking ready to do something.
I am ready, always.
There you go. And he comes from Manchester, and he's always ready.
It's because our club have a lot of people around the world that is members, but not living in Santander, in our wonderful city.
I've only got your word for that, how wonderful it is.
Yeah, we have some lovely beaches and lovely mountains and landscapes. You are all invited.
And great food, apparently.
Sure.
Well, Richard, maybe there's going to be another occasion once pandemic is completely out of the way. Do you remember that wonderful time we had over in Prague? We could.
I do.
We
I
could
absolutely
replicate that over in Santander, maybe. Okay, well,
Sounds like a plan.
I'm just going to stop talking. It's 8 o'clock, so over to our president. Let's get the meeting started. Gabriel, over to you, my friend.
Thank you, Pedro. So good evening, fellow Toastmasters and guests. Can you see the screen? Yes, okay. So my name is Gabriel, president of Toastmasters Sardinero, a very special Toastmaster club founded 6 years ago by Angela and Mike, present today. It is named Sardinero after the image you can see, one of the most beautiful beaches of Spain, located in Santander, a breathtaking city facing the Atlantic Sea in the north coast of Spain. I would like to welcome you all to our special meeting where we at Toastmasters Sardinero are delighted to receive guests with open arms. Among our guests, we have two special speakers today. Representing our District 107 leadership team, we welcome Program Quality Director Pablo Garcia, and we are very honored to welcome our Toastmasters International President 2021, Richard Peck, distinguished Toastmaster. Very welcome both and all the guests. Before we start our meeting, I thought it might be an idea to revisit the mission of Toastmasters International. What are we all about? The mission of Toastmasters International is to empower individuals to become more effective communicators and leaders. In order to enable this ultimate and global mission, districts and clubs have their specific adapted missions. For districts, the mission is to build new clubs and to support all clubs in achieving excellence. For clubs, the mission is to provide a supportive and positive learning experience in which members are empowered to develop communication and leadership skills, resulting in greater self-confidence and personal growth. As core values that support a healthy implementation of Toastmasters International mission, we have integrity, respect, service, and excellence. Before passing it over to the Toastmaster of the meeting, I would like to highlight an additional value that I witnessed in the Sardinero family, and I believe is making Toastmasters very special. That is candor. When you relate with people who care about you and are willing to go outside of their comfort zone, offering feedback or holding others accountable, wonderful things happen. So now to run today's meeting, I would like to hand over to one of the founding members that I mentioned before, distinguished Toastmaster Mike Monroy. Mike, over to you.
Thank you very much, Mr. President, and welcome to Toastmasters Sardinero. We are in the north of Spain. We are not on the Costa Mediterranean where it's very hot. We have mountains, we have rivers, we got seafood, we got delicious wine, and we got the most beautiful beach, not only in Spain, but probably in the world. Why? It's outside my window here. I can promise you that. I am Distinguished Toastmaster Mike Monroy. I've been a member of Toastmasters for 38 years. I joined when I was only 23 years old. And because of my Toastmasters education, I am living my dream. With Toastmasters, I learned to focus on my objectives, my goals, and the perspective of my life, what I wanted to achieve. And Toastmasters helped me along in my journey. It wasn't easy, but I learned all I could. Better speaking, listening, and thinking skills. It helped me achieve where I want to be right now. I wasn't the smartest man in the room, I can promise you that, but I knew how to say it, what to say, when to say it, and sometimes when not to say it. Toastmasters taught me a lot of things. I'm only 38 years old and I'm still learning. Today, we've got a good meeting. I'd like to ask all of you to turn off your microphone if you're not speaking, please, so we don't interrupt the speakers. We have a full program today, and we're going to have some fun here in Spain. I hope that if this is your first time in Spain, come back, because I promise you, you won't go back home. I want to stay here. Our program looks very good. Oh, our president. Let me tell you about our president, Gabriel. 3 things about our president. 1, he's honest. 2, he joined Toastmasters in 2021. And 3, he's from Bilbao, Spain, which is very near from here. A very beautiful city today, very beautiful. Mr. President, thank you for the introduction. We move on with our program. First, I want to acknowledge our Division A director from Gijón, Oviedo region, Gabriel. Gabriel, are you there? Wave your hand, Gabriel. Our Division A director, we are happy to have you here, Mr. Division Director. Would you say in 60 seconds a few words, please, Gabriel, our Division Director? Just a few words.
Thank you, Mike. I'm really pleased to visit you in Sardinero. As you say, for me, Sardinero is one of the reference clubs in the north of Spain. And you, Michael Monroy, you are one of the reference of Toastmaster in Spain. You are not just the Toastmaster of the day. For me, you are the life masters of every day. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Mr. Division Director. And Gabriel, we're always a pleasure. I'm looking forward to return to Gijón. Beautiful city, good food, delicious food, beautiful city. I think it's bigger than Santander. Also, we have a special guest, and this special guest is very special. She is our club coach. Yes, she gave us directions, helpful advice when we needed it. You know, the last year was a little different for everybody, very different. And we needed to talk about things, and our executive committee talked to her. We got some ideas. She was the past president of Vitoria-Gasteiz Toastmasters Club in the Basque Country. She was the conference chair of the Division A conference in March 2017, which was Speaking in Green. She's very energetic and enthusiastic. She joined Toastmasters in 2014, and she's from the city of Vitoria-Gasteiz in the Basque Country. May I please welcome Iranchu. Iranchu, please, you have the stage. A few words.
Yeah. Thank you, Mike. Thank you, everyone. Let me start by just mentioning that today we have the honor and the privilege, right, to have with us the Toastmasters International President, Richard Peck. Richard joined Toastmasters in 2006, and at his earlier stages, he once mentioned that he could talk, but he could not communicate. Richard, you wouldn't believe how much I relate to these words. Because we all know that Toastmasters is not just about communication, but it's also leadership. And there is one role that I would encourage everyone in Toastmasters to have, which is the club coach or club mentor. I was so lucky to be appointed a Club Sardinero's mentor or coach 2 years ago. Lucky why? Well, first of all, because you are able to share your little experience and your little knowledge with the club and see what are the things that work and what are the things that they don't work. But most of all, how much I learned, right? How much I learned from this club. This club went to have from 12 members to now 20 in 2 years' time. And all the effort and work they did is just amazing. And truly is worth an article in the Toastmasters magazine, because this should be shared with the whole world. The task, the effort, and every day, weekends included, the work this team put to become where they are today is just amazing. So thank you, Sardinero Club, for allowing me to be a little part of that success. And congratulations, all of you, for the work well done. Thank you.
Thank you, Ranchu, and thank you for being there for us. You made us focus on what was important in that special year that we're trying to forget. I'm not going to say the word, but it was that year, the year. We'll be talking about this for forever. Now, to our guests who are here, and of course, our international president, Richard Peck, our club meets 1 week in English and 1 week in Spanish. So I get to practice my Spanish. You don't want to hear my Spanish today because I'm still learning, practicing my pronunciations, but I'm going to become better in my Spanish. And I learned by listening to my Toastmasters in Spanish, communication skills. It's a good process in the language process. So 1 week in English, 1 week in Spanish. Now, let's move on to my team. I've got a good team today. And first, our grammarian counter. Her name is Helena. And 3 things about Helena. 1, she's determined. 2, she joined Toastmasters in the year 2021. And 3, she's from the beautiful city of Santander. And a very beautiful city. You have to come to see the city. It's great. You'll never leave. Elena, I give you the stage.
Good evening to everybody, and thank you very much, Mike. Today, my responsibility as grammarian consists of both choosing a word that can build up our vocabulary and explaining easily so that the people here can use it throughout the meeting. At the end of the meeting, I will also have to build a report on the number of times that people have used the word chosen, and to highlight some nice words or expressions that are sure to appear. Equally, I have also have to point out the use of filler if there have been any. Today, my idea is a little bit different. I have chosen compound words which include the word thought in them. And I would like you either to include some of the following example in your vocabulary and to come up with different words which fall into this category. My 3 examples are thoughtful. We should be thoughtful toward others. Well thought out. This is a very well thought out presentation. And afterthought. Just as an afterthought, I would like to conclude by saying that it's a real pleasure to have this honorable guest today. Thank you very much, and back to you, Mike.
Thank you, Elena. Thank you very much for that fine report. Our next is time management. Here in Toastmasters, we take our time very seriously. Well, we try. And our timekeeper today is Pilar. And 3 things about Pilar. Her favorite sentence is, the only constant in life is change. And that was said by Hiralitis. I hope I said that correctly. She joined Toastmasters in 2018, and she's from Cantabria, beautiful Cantabria in the north of Spain. Pilar, you have the stage.
Thank you so much, Mr. Toastmaster. Well, as a timer, my role today is take control of the time that every speaker requires. As we know, time is our most valuable asset in our daily life. And I'll try to show every speaker when they are nearing the end of their allotted time. And at the end of the meeting, I'll report the length of each prepared speech, table topic section, and different evaluations. So I saw different cards according to each person time established. For example, green color when the person is in the right time. The yellow card, I flash this color when the time is almost near to finish. And red cards when the time is over. So I encourage you use your time in the best way. And at the end of the meeting, I give you the report. Back to you, Mr. Toastmaster.
Thank you very much, Pilar, for that fine report. And now to evaluate the entire meeting, our Inspector General, what we call the General Evaluator, please. She is Maria de las Casas. She's very enthusiastic. She joined Toastmasters in 2020, and she's from Venezuela. And she is our Educational Vice President. And Maria, you have the stage.
Thank you very much, Mike. My role today is being General Evaluator, and as General Evaluator, I will be taking some notes about the flow of the meeting, how we do time management. I won't be evaluating the speeches, but I will be evaluating the evaluators. We only have a speech that is going to be evaluated today. And I will be taking some notes about also what things we can do better in the future. Thank you so much. Back to you, Mr. Toastmaster.
And thank you very much, Maria, for that fine report. And now we move on to the introduction of our guest speaker, because I'm not going to do it. I'm going to introduce a Toastmaster who's going to introduce our international speaker. And who is that Toastmaster? This Toastmaster is the founder of Toastmasters Sardinero. I met her in 2014 at an exchange program, a language exchange, and I gave her a Toastmaster magazine. Yes, I gave her a Toastmaster magazine. I made sure that she had a Toastmaster magazine, and then the second time I saw her, I gave her a second Toastmaster magazine. And then she said, okay, Mike, I'm interested or curious. And after that, the rest is history. She is the founder of Toastmasters Sardinero with another Toastmaster, Phil Hadley from the UK. Unfortunately, he's not with us anymore. He passed away, and I was the mentor of the team, and we worked together as a team. So our founder and our first president, Angela, she's always eager to learn something new. She joined Toastmasters. Well, she learned about it in 2014 from me, but when she started the club 2015, and she is from Santander. Angela, I give you the stage to please introduce our guest special speaker.
Hello, everyone. Well, it's a great honor for me to introduce the Toastmasters International President 2021, DTM Richard Peck. And the title of the speech is The Determination of Achieving Great Things. The Determination of Achieving Great Things, DTM Richard Peck.
Thank you, Angela, for that nice introduction. Not long, right to the point, which I appreciate. Toastmaster today, Michael. Do you think maybe she agreed to start a club so you would stop giving her magazines? Maybe that's what it was all about. You just wore her down. But it's great to see this club. When I was thinking of this topic, the determination of achieving great things, it led to so many questions about what that actually means. Not about what determination means, because I think we all know that. But what does great things mean? And who defines what a great thing is? Have you ever gotten up in the morning and just said, I'm going to do lousy things today? We're going to have a lousy meeting. It's going to be a lousy day. No. We all get up and say, it's going to be a great meeting. It's going to be a great day. I'm going to do great things. For who? Great things for you? For someone else? The interesting thing for me about greatness is that it's an individual definition. And sometimes even we don't get to define what greatness looks like. We started out in Masters, all trying to give us great communicators, but most of us say we want to become a better communicator. And we give a speech, and in the back of our minds, we're going, boy, that was a dud. That was terrible. I missed the mark. And your evaluator comes up and says, what? That was a great speech. I could connect with it on so many levels. Their definition of great was totally different than your definition of great. And that's what makes it such an interesting topic to think about what greatness is. When I started my Toastmasters journey, as Iransu said, it was because I knew how to speak to other engineers, but didn't know how to communicate with people. And I could see the smiles on faces that speaking to other engineers you can relate to, because we speak in our own language. But what did it mean to communicate? What did it mean to be good enough? I never expected myself to be a great communicator. I don't define myself to be a great communicator. To this day, I don't. I think I continue to work on my communication skills, and maybe every once in a while, I'll put a great message out there. But regardless of what great means to you, regardless of how you define it, it has to start with a plan. You have to want to achieve something and achieve it the best way you can. When Aransu took on the club coach role, I'm sure her goal was to help the club be successful. That was her thought, her goal. Did she set that sight to say, I want this club to be the greatest club? I want to be the greatest club coach? Or was her goal to achieve something different? Yet the result from it was greatness. You look at the participant window today, 49 participants visiting your club. What a shift in thinking. When I joined Toastmasters, as I stated earlier, it was just to become a better communicator. I had no interest at all in becoming an international president. That wasn't even a thought. I often joke that when I joined, I probably didn't know there was an international president. I was only in the club 6 months and I found out I was a club president. You know, these things happen. Was I good at it? It was all right. Was I great? Absolutely not. We achieved President's Distinguished that year, but not because of me, because of others. Greatness is often something that occurs by accident, because we look at things in our history and we say, that was a great idea. That was great thinking. That individual didn't know it was going to revolutionize the world. Edison just wanted light. What a great invention a light bulb became. We view it differently. We view it as something that changed the world, something that another individual did. But we viewed it as great after it occurred, not as a result of it occurring at that time. Toastmaster of the day, Michael said, the year of whose name we will not announce. I think that's going to be a future J.K. Rowling book, the year that we did not announce, just like the characters in her book, the person whose name we will not mention. But think of the great things that came out of this year because we took the opportunity to look at it differently, to not face it as the challenge, but to face the opportunity. And we didn't plan on it becoming a great year. We didn't. We sat and thought about the things we were going to give up, the things we were going to miss out on. And you know what? That lasted for a very short period of time until we realized what we had in front of us, what difference we could make, how we could take this need to be physically distanced. I don't say social distancing. I don't know anyone on this call who's not social. We were physically distanced, not socially distanced. And we found ways to change the world, Each and every one of you on here today is making an impact on those other individuals that are in here today. This is my first visit to Spain. I took Spanish in high school. I'm pretty sure Michael's Spanish is better than mine was, even though I took 4 years of it. But we're getting to connect with one another. We've had the ability to make a cultural difference in the world. When we joined Toastmasters, we all wanted to be better communicators. We never thought we were going to change the world. Did we? I'll often ask people, do you make a change in the lives of members of your club? And people will say yes occasionally. And I'll ask them if they make a change in the community at large, and less hands go up, a couple timidly go up. And then I ask, do you change the world? And almost no hands go up. Because they see the world as billions and billions and billions of people in 7 continents in 199 countries. How can I make an impact? How can I make a difference? Well, if we change our focus of what a world actually means and change the life of one person, giving them a hand to achieve more than they think they can, we've made a change in the world. And that person will continue to do the same thing. I could tell you that greatness is exceeding just by the use this example. How many of you have been in a training class where the trainer tells you to stand up in the front of the room and reach as high as you can. And everyone reaches up as high as they can. And he says, put your arms down, relax. And he says, okay, I want you to reach higher than you did the last time. And everyone reaches higher than they did last time. And we go through this exercise multiple times. The question is, if I asked you to reach higher, as high as you could on the first time, how come on the last time you're reaching higher? Because we put those barriers there. We put the barriers to achieving things, the barriers to greatness in whatever that means to you in front of ourselves. A couple of things that I know that prevent you from making the achievement of greatness or success or comfort are in the English language. We like to put N''T after things. I can't, I won't, I couldn't, I shouldn't. And the minute we do that, we stop ourselves. We stop ourselves from achieving anything, regardless of whether it's greatness or just success. Think about what it is that you want to accomplish. Think about what it is that your goal will be. Don't worry about how it's viewed by others. Worry about how you view it. Did you achieve what you wanted to achieve? Or did you just go through the motion? Did you make an impact? Was it on yourself? Was it on your community? Was it on the world at large? Was it big? Was it small? Does that matter? In August of 2020, when I became the international president, I realized that the world was going to be different for me as an international president. The things that we traditionally do weren't going to be available. Flying and visiting districts and sharing in their conferences and their excitement and their development, that wasn't going to happen. That the organization was going to be separated because of our thing that we will not mention. Yet there had to be a way to unite our organization, to unite our members in a way that had never been done before. And that's when the idea of the International President's World Tour came up this year. And it was for no other reason than to try to unite our organization, to keep our members connected. And you can imagine, as being an international president, a club president, or the many roles that you have, it can be very busy. And then to add on top of that, that your goal is to visit 145 countries and give speeches or take on roles, you can imagine how crazy that thought process was to start. And I know I see a couple of you nodding your heads up and down. And the goal was for nothing else other than to meet at the club level, meet some members. Some of them who are here today. Aida, who I've seen before, Rich Hopkins, who I've known for years and just seeing, as well as several others that are here. And that was the only goal. And along the way, others started joining in, started attending meetings, taking on roles. And guess what happened? The world got smaller. At a time when we were told we had to stay apart, stay distant, the world actually got smaller. It became an index finger and an enter key away. And you could be anywhere. The barriers weren't travel anymore. The barriers were time zones. And if you could get up late, stay up late, get up early, you could be anywhere. It was not planned on anything to achieve greatness. It was planned on something to make a difference, to share a little bit of the world with each other. to help bring people closer together. If at the end it's viewed by others as a great event, a great accomplishment, that it changed our organization in some way, then I'm happy with that. But my goal was just to achieve something. Others will define it. Just like your evaluators define your speeches with the feedback. Regardless of what you plan on doing, regardless of what your grand goals are, don't let others stop you from attempting them. Don't stop yourself from achieving them. When you think you can't reach far enough, when you think you can't go far enough, put your arm down and next time reach a little farther. And when others look like they're having difficulties and struggling in getting to their goal, reach back and give them the hand to pull them forward. Help them achieve greatness as you see it. And they're going to realize greatness in what you've done. Toastmaster of the day.
Thank you very much, Mr. International President Richard Peck, for that outstanding speech. Thank you very much. It's an honor and a pleasure to have you here. Thank you. And now we move on to our second guest speaker. Our second guest speaker will speak for 8 to 10 minutes, Madam Timer. And this gentleman I met many years ago, maybe 5 or 6 years ago in Madrid. He's originally from Salamanca, which is the home of the big university, very big university, and I think it's the oldest university in Spain. And he was a speech contestant, area director for the corporate clubs in Madrid. And today he is the program quality manager for District 107, which is Spain, Portugal, and now Morocco. 3 countries together. Very busy man in Toastmasters and very dedicated and focused. And today, distinguished Toastmaster Pablo Garcia, the title of his speech is Dive In and Rise to the Top. Dive in and rise to the top. Distinguished Toastmaster Pablo Garcia. You have the stage.
Thank you, Mike, my friend. Dear fellow Toastmasters, today I would like you to embark on a trip along and across the District 107, our district. I would like you to see who we are, where we were, where we are, and where we are gonna be, especially with the strategies well thought of that we have in plan with the district team. And I was thinking, since we are in Santander, what better means of transportation than a boat departing from Sardinero's beach? And I actually like that metaphor because our vision and motto this year for the district is actually dive in and rise to the top. So let me ask you, would you like to get on board? Before we start, let me just introduce you to the crew of the boat. And here we have, as you know, the district leadership team is composed with 23 area directors plus 6 division directors plus the core team, which is formed by 8 people, 8 members. And I want to ask you a question. Do you know which area Sardinero belongs to? I see Gabriel saying 5, and that's correct. You belong to area A5. And now I want to ask you, who is your area director? Do you know about it? Someone can unmute their microphone.
Dolores Gomez.
Correct, Dolores Gomez. And the next one you should know if you have been attentive and listening, because actually Mike already mentioned, and that's Gabriel Balsera. But now let me introduce you to the core team, which is these 9 people I mentioned earlier. At the helm, we have Sara. Sara is the district director, and she is like the captain of the boat. She's the one driving us and guiding us and coordinating all us together to reach to our success for the goals that we have planned. As Richard mentioned, everything starts with a plan. Then you have me, Pablo. I'm the program quality director, and my mission in the district is to provide environment for training events and making sure that training flows and thrives all over the district, including, well, of course, in your clubs. And also, I'm in charge of the speech contest and the events, like the one that hopefully will happen in Morocco. Then we have Vera, who succeeds me in the role of club growth director, and hopefully she's going to have a lot of work this year because we want to grow bigger, and you will see why. Also, we have Vanessa. She's our peer manager, and she's the one in charge of promoting all the stuff that we have inside of Toastmasters for people that are outside of Toastmasters, the achievements and recognitions that we want to recognize to the members in the district, but also the different events, trainings, reminders, and things that can go in social media so that we share with our friends as well. Then we have also Norberto, the money man, and his mission, his role is just to make sure that we spend the budget in the objectives that we plan for. Nothing else, nothing more. Then we have Claudia, who I think I saw in the meeting, and Claudia is our administration manager, and she's the perfect woman to make flow of communication, information, and categorize everything we have as information for the district. Then we have also Sylvia, and Sylvia as parliamentarian is the person who makes sure that everyone's voice is heard and the majority is ruled. And I'm talking about meetings like the district council meetings in which you, Gabriel, and Maria will represent Sardinero as president and vice president of education. Then we have Sergio. Sergio is our IT guy. He is the one to go to if you have problems with EasySpeak, and also, short spoiler, he's gonna create a new website to introduce Morocco as well. Because before, as you remember, we were called Iberia. And finally, we have Cristina. Cristina Huesas is the immediate past district director, and she's always providing her advice, helping us in achieving the excellence we want to by providing her knowledge and her expertise, and also making sure that we find the best, or at least the greatest, as Richard would say, people for next term as leaders. Now that I have introduced you to the team, let me stop here. Yeah, I would like you to then drive you in the boat to the first island we are going to visit today. And this is the island of the history of District 107. And for that, I will please request again your help here. Do you know how old our district is? Does somebody know? Angela?
4 years ago.
4 years ago, that's true. We are quite a new district because we split from District 59, which was more or less like half Europe. But now, as Mike mentioned, we have those 3 countries. But let me ask you, do you know if we have any other country in the district?
Andorra.
Andorra, correct, Gabby. Andorra is also part of our district, but unfortunately, we don't have clubs there yet. Let's see this year. And finally, do you know how many clubs do we have in the whole district? Right now, we are around 80 clubs, 81. We have suffered a little bit from our history and the thing that we don't want to mention. And of course, we are now around 80 clubs. But now, I would like to take you to the following island. And this is the island where we talk about the strategy. So as Richard mentioned, the plan that we already created, well thought of, for the coming year. And here is where we have our mission. Our mission is to commit to the strategy, and our vision is to reap the benefits in the future. Our mission is to dive in, and our vision is to rise to the top. And for that, we've got 3 main goals. The first one has to do with club growth. Our aim is to grow, listen to this, Richard, 23 new clubs. It's actually a lot. We know that. It's quite ambitious. But the truth is that we have planned for that, and we want to provide the opportunity for every single area director for them to develop the skills, the leadership skills, meeting people, new communities, corporations, universities, so that they actually develop those skills. And in the end, we become a greater family. Also, there is one initiative in the district that we have to support this, and it is called the Hub, which is a concentrator, like an incubator club, in which members that want to create a club can start learning how to do it, so that when they are ready, they can split and create their club, but they are already hit the floor running. Also, we have Vera working with corporations already and universities. And of course, don't forget that we have Morocco, and they only have 4 clubs, but we expect them to grow bigger. So we are very passionate about it. And now let me ask you, how would you help with this? Then if you are thinking of someone that might live in a city where there is no Toastmasters Club and they want to, maybe you can let us know and we can start working on that. Or if you know someone that works in a mid-sized company that could create a corporate club, then we can work on it. The second goal we have thought about, it has to do with our weak clubs. We call them weak when they have 12 or fewer members, but we like to call them better, TBI, in a situation to be improved. And for then we have a plan on sponsors, mentors, coaches like Iranchu, and you are the ones that actually know how to get there. So if you want to help become a coach, just let me know and we will write this and transform you in a new Iranchu. So you learn a lot, as is mentioned. And finally, our third goal has to do with creating the quality that you already have in the club, Sardinero. It's creating the new members coming, the flow of energy, new ideas, also that the officers are well trained and that you actually evolve in your educational program. Now that you know that, this is the starting of our boat trip. So the district will definitely be very pleased to have your help in rowing together towards success. So let me say, if we dive into our commitment to self-fulfilling objectives every single day in our club meetings, but also with the serving opportunities in the future, hopefully in June 13th, but farther in the future, we will together rise to the top. Thank you, Mr. Toastmaster. Back to you.
Thank you very much, distinguished Toastmaster Pablo Garcia, our Program Quality Manager, District 107, Spain, Portugal, and now Morocco. Wow, we are growing, and we are living in good times. When you're a Toastmaster, never a boring day. It's always a good day when you're a Toastmaster. Thank you, Pablo. And now we move on to our third speaker. And our third speaker is a member of Toastmasters Sardinero. He's also a member of Toastmasters in the UK, Manchester, where he lives. And this young man is very active in many things. He was the speech champion in the Spanish-speaking contest, and he is a father, but he also has time for Toastmasters in the UK and here in Spain. And his evaluator will be Maria Ramos Moreno. Maria, is there anything you want to say about Julian's speech before I introduce him? Any objectives that we should know about?
No, but you should be ready for an amazing presentation, that's for sure.
I like that. That's enthusiasm. You go, girl. This speech, Madam Timer, will be 5 to 7 minutes. And as Maria said, we should hold on to our seats because we're about to go for a ride. Distinguished Toastmaster Julian Serreta is from Gijón, Spain, which is Asturias, lives in London, the UK. The title of the speech, Breaking the Fourth Wall. Breaking the Fourth Wall, Distinguished Toastmaster Julian Serreta. Julian, you have the stage.
Dear friends from Santander, Spain, Europe, Turkey, the States, Canada, Jamaica, welcome to this club. I must confess a secret. The other day, I was on a Zoom call, and while the speaker was speaking, I was writing an email. On my defense, I must say that 30% of the time, our wonderful mind wanders away from the present. And the situation in the online environment is not much better. Here, the attention spans are short, very short. I'm sure you have been in this situation, giving a speech, and you could see that somebody was talking over there, or somebody was talking over the phone, or even worse, somebody was switching the camera off while you were talking. We all been there. What's the problem? You might wonder yourself. The answer is very easy. We are failing to connect with our audience. Yes, as easy as that. I do believe, however, that there is another way to do online presentations, a way where we can grab the attention of our audience from the first second to the end. I know. In the online environment where we are surrounded by screens, it's very difficult to capture the audience attention, especially when those cameras are connected to the widest and widest entertainment offer ever produced. No wonder why it's so difficult to keep the attention of our audience. To make things better or worse, this entertainment offer is at our fingertips. So, keeping the attention of our audience is a difficult business, no doubt. But there is a way where we can regain control of that attention, and it's not other than placing the audience in the driver's seat. Yes, making them the hero of your presentation. Even better, making them the hero of their own adventures. Then, only then, you will be guaranteed the attention of your audience. However, I have said nothing new. We do this in the brick and mortar clubs, don't we? How do we build that connection here in the online environment? For that, we have to go to the theater. We will visit, or we will witness a play, a live play, a romantic play. When we sit, the lights go off, the curtains open, and we can see on the stage 3 physical walls and a 4th one, an invisible one that separates the actors from the audience from the actors. As long as this 4th wall is up, the theater will play its magic and we will transport it to different dimensions. However, at the moment that somebody coughs or an actor drops an object or moves the curtain, that 4th wall vanishes, disappears, breaks down. And then you are taken back from that faraway dimension to the present. You are in a room full of people attending to a live performance. No wonder why so many theater directors don't like to break the fourth wall. However, I do believe that breaking the fourth wall is a very useful technique to connect with your audience. Imagine, in this romantic play we are attending to, the first time the main character sees the beautiful lady he falls in love with, everybody around him stops. He gets closer to the edge of the stage and says, "Is she not beautiful? Is she not the most beautiful creature on this planet?" At that moment, you are not a spectator anymore. You are part of the play. You are the confidant of the main character. And yes, this is a technique we can use in the online world. We can break that fourth wall in order to make connections. How do we break the fourth wall in the online environment? Easy. You only need a hammer. A hammer. And I'm talking literally, not metaphorically. Look, where is the fourth wall in the online environment? Between you and me, between me and you. How can we break that fourth wall? Very easy. Grab the hammer and 1, 2, 3, bam! Did you see that? Have we not made a connection? I think we did. Of course, I'm not telling you to break your camera in order to make a connection, but you can use vivid and vivacious language that can transport the audience to your history. You can also, as they do in the theater, incorporate an extra character who will be seated behind the camera. Or, as I'm doing today, you can use visual aids that place the audience in the middle of the action. I know what you are thinking at this moment. How sexy this guy's accent is. Well, what can I say? Spaniards. No, I know what you are thinking. You are thinking, wow, how these guys produce these amazing eye-catching visual aids. I can share it with you. I will drop a link there on the chat. But please, 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 if you want to connect with your audience, don't get carried away with this jiggery-pokery. No. Remember, to make a connection, you have to place the audience in the driver's wheel, making sure they are the hero of your presentation. They are the hero of their own adventures.
Thank you very much to our speaker. Wow, that was a ride. Thank you very much. Here at Toastmaster Sardinero, what we do, we take 2 minutes of silence after a speaker who's being evaluated. And if you wish to write Julian an evaluation one-to-one, please do. Madam Timer, 2 minutes of silence for the evaluator to write the evaluation. 2 minutes of silence beginning now.
It's time.
Thank you very much, Madam Timer. And now we're going to ask the evaluator, Maria Ramos Marino, to evaluate Julian's speech. Madam Timer, 2 to 3 minutes. Maria, you have the stage.
Well, big round of applause for Julian. You are such a great performer. I mean, I have to confess something to all of you. I have seen this very same speech last week in my club. First, I thought this was going to be a challenge because I lost the element of surprise, right? I'm sure most of you felt surprised just by the image we're seeing Julian right now in, right? His screen is broken. How did he do that? How did he do that? You know, that's impossible. I always feel like I learn a lot from him in terms of what we can do to improve our virtual presentations. There's something Julian had in common with both our guest speakers today, special guests. He used information from the audience and incorporated it to his speech. When he started, he said, you know, he listed all the countries where we come from. He didn't stay in Spain or even in Cantabria, which is the region that is hosting us today. But he just went ahead and went to Europe and the US and Turkey, which is amazing. Great job. Something that I also enjoyed was how you somehow made the connection. You were from the beginning very focused on online presentations, but you brought us back to when we used to go to our clubs physically by saying that most of the things we're trying to learn that he's trying to teach us, we also did those on the brick and mortar shops. I love how he used descriptions, especially to illustrate what the fourth wall means. That was not very clear on his previous presentation, so that was a good improvement. And I love his sense of humor. Don't you all? How he used his accent, his very, very strong Spanish accent as an advantage. He positioned himself as someone sexy to follow and to look for advice. There's somehow some things that I feel Julian could improve to make us feel even more engaged during his speech. One of them is regarding how he integrates all his virtual aids or his visual aids during his speech. Don't know if you noticed when he was changing the camera angle, which was not really doing that. He was just playing some background images and looking at different spots. Somehow I feel you lost the eye contact with us, which make us feel or lose a bit of the engagement that you're building up. So try maybe to work on when you're changing the slides in the background that we can still see you looking at us, even if you're supposed to be looking at your left or your right. Something else that I feel would add up to your speeches and to your performance is to add a bit of a deeper voice tone. You tend to give your speeches on a very high tone, which is great to keep us engaged at the beginning. But maybe when you're talking about, and I'm gonna shut up now because my time is off, but maybe when you're talking about the heroes and the Avengers, you can, use a deeper tone, that inflects like a more powerful feeling. But overall, it was a great presentation. I did see some improvements from last week, and I'm looking forward to your next one. Congratulations, Julian.
Thank you very much, Maria, for that fine evaluation. Here at Toastmasters Sardinero, we have the bell, and we ring the bell when you go over time. But today, we gave you some room to finish your evaluation. It's just the bell. And we also have the hammer. I got my hammer here. So we're doing good. So now we move on. Now it's time for our table topics presentation. And our table topics master today is distinguished Toastmaster Pedro Casillas. Now, Pedro is from London, UK. He's also a member of Toastmasters Sardinero, which he's made a large contribution here in our educational process. And probably one of the reasons why we earned 10 DCP points from the past year, from 12 members to 20 members in our educational process. And to describe Pedro, one, he's a nice person. Two, he joined Toastmasters in 2002. And three, he's from London, UK. Pedro, you have the stage.
Thank you, Mr. Toastmasters, and hello everyone. Welcome to Sardinero Holiday Table Topics. How many people do we have here tonight? Oh, too many people to do in this particular session. So you all have to come back and visit us again. So are you ready for a well thought through, interesting, thought-provoking improvisation session? But before we get on, why table topics? Well, they're fun. 2, they're challenging. 3, they're very scary for some people. They're interesting and they're thought-provoking. But imagine this. You're in an elevator, or a lift as we say in the UK, with the international president. And you have 1 to 2 minutes to say something. And then your mouth goes dry. What do you do? Or you're at an interview for the job of your dreams. All is going really well until the interviewer asks a seemingly innocuous question. And then your mind goes blank. That's why we are here. Table topics will help us to cope with all of these things and above. And I've got a couple of tips for all the participants tonight and everyone else who's listening. Before you answer any of the questions, pause at the beginning. You don't have to answer straight away. Compose yourself unless you've got an answer straight away. Pause again if you get stuck. Take 2 to 3 seconds and look intelligent to get yourself back into the swing. And most important, you can always answer the question even if you don't know the answer. You can always answer the question. Okay, let's get started. And I'm going to encourage you, as Helena, our grammarian, said, to use the word of the day, the compounds, thought, thoughtful, well thought through, afterthought, thoughtless, and any other variations that you have. This is all about holidays. So strap in, but holidays of a different kind. I hope everyone can see my screen. So Elisa, are you there? Say hello to me, Elisa.
Yes, I hear you, Pedro. Am I loud and clear?
You're on holidays and you decide that you're going to go by train, but things don't work out exactly as you had imagined. For example, your holiday is delayed. What can you explain what is going on in this picture and what happened to you? Over to you, Elisa.
Well, Pedro, before I get into this table topic, let me just take a moment to look intelligent and glance at your image here. I do believe that the most unexpected of events has taken place. You see, when I got on this train, in my mind, I was thinking, I'm going on holiday. Now, this isn't just any holiday. This is a holiday that I have been saving for through all of COVID. It's the one thing that has kept me going strong when everybody else's strength is failing. I've saved nickels, dimes, pennies, a few pounds as well, because I thought I'm going to make this happen. This is going to be the train ride of my life. It's the train you start in London and you end up in Scotland. It takes you off the train of a nightmare. You see, I didn't, because I haven't given it enough thought. But there were little clues along the way that made me realize this was really a scam. It was a scam that would change my life in a most negative sort of way. If I had thought about it, if I had been more thought-provoked, I would have realized that the passage was a little too cheap. We all know that these situations can be very expensive. So why did they only charge £300 for the event? I should have taken note. Then the next clue was that, they didn't give us very many instructions. There was no email to confirm the trip, and I should have known. And last but not least, they were way too welcoming. So many souvenirs for free. By the way, my phone, I can't see the time. Do let me come upon it.
You are finished. You've been having a whale of a time, and unfortunately you got caught by the tail.
Oh no. Well,
Thank you
and
so
to
much.
conclude, the train went over and it was a disaster. Thank you. Over to you, Pedro.
Thanks very much, Elisa. As everyone knows, well, I hope they know that we are a bilingual club, and we like to give an opportunity for everyone to speak either in English or in Spanish. So I'm going to ask our next contestants, Elena Anton, if you are there. ¿Estás ahí? Tengo una pregunta en español para ti. Elena. I hope she's going to be there. Has she hidden? Has she gone? Oh, she's left us. Okay, well, Gemma, over to you instead. Gemma, are you there?
Yes, I am here.
You can answer in English or Spanish. It's up to you. Okay. So you decide to visit Elisa in Puerto Rico, and you are looking for this little creature called El Coqui. But unfortunately, El Coqui has lost its voice. Can you tell us what happened? Describe to us, how has it lost its voice?
I'm thinking about it. I am trying to look intelligent, but this is difficult for me. I think the coqui, it's looking something that it's very strange for it, because suddenly it's looking a pair of birds that they are looking of a big bus that it is near a road, and it's there are a lot of things about around this coqui, and he's used to live a very calm life, but today it's a very different day for it. So he's very surprised, looking everything, and he's thinking, oh, it is a beautiful day for me, because I usually live in a very boring life, and I'm not sure, but today everything is changing around me, but I'm not sure what is happening. So I am looking for this new world for me. Suddenly the coqui discovered that it was dreaming. It was dreaming about a new life.
You see where the imagination takes us. Gabriel Balsera. Yes, it is you. And apparently you've been on holiday for one of your favorite sports in America. And you had the surprise of your life when you turned up and boom, you noticed the Toastmasters International president was involved in a backward start dragster race. Can you tell us what happened? Gabriel.
I'm going to think. Okay, it was my dream. And after so many time without having the opportunity to travel, I decided that now that I am fully vaccinated, I could have my report and take it with me and go to the United States to see one of these car races that I love. And it's quite difficult to see them in Spain. So when I arrived there, I went to Connecticut And in there was announced, I saw in the newspaper that there was a great car race. So I went there, and it was a surprise because I saw that all the cars was a bit strange. They have the back very high, they have the very small or thin wheels, and they started, I was sitting in the middle of the public. Everybody was looking in one direction, but I was supposed to look in the other one because the cars were going forward as I was supposed. But then when the race started, I was looking forward, but I didn't see any cars. All the cars were running backwards. And I said, but how can they do that? That's not possible. It is supposed that the finish line is over there, but they are running the other way. And I thought, well, they can reach the finish line going the other way too. It doesn't matter which way you take, you always can achieve your goal.
Thank you very much, Gabriel. I'm sure that the international president can tell us more, but maybe not today, because he has another story to tell us, Mr. International President, on a trip to France recently. This is what happened to the international president.
Sorry, it's time for tabletop session, Mr. Tabletop Master.
Last one.
Oh.
We've got to get in. We've got to hear what the international president
Perfect.
said to him when he was in France.
Go ahead.
He was approached by these drug dealers offering loyalty cards. Tell us, Mr. International President, what happened?
Well, I think you have to define what the drug lords actually were selling in these loyalty cards, because drugs are something that give you euphoria. And our thought process is telling us that these are drugs and dealers of a bad thing. But there are drugs that are of a good thing. They provide you that euphoric feeling, that freedom, that sense. Come on, isn't Toastmasters like that? We give speeches and we feel that inside. And this was Pedro meeting me at the airport to bring me to a Toastmasters meeting to provide me with that loyalty card, because I had been so many times before. Again, it was what we thought we heard when we heard drug dealers that caused our minds to process it a little differently. Mr. Table Topics Master.
Thank you very much. That's very thought-provoking. And thank you, Madam Timer, for keeping us on time. So I will hand back to our Toastmaster, Mr. Monroe, wherever he happens to be.
I'm right here, Pedro. Thank you very much for that fine table topic session, and to everyone here as we bring our meeting slowly to an end as we move on to our general evaluation. Before I turn over to the general evaluator, Maria de la Casas, I'm going to close. First of all, thank everyone who was here from all over the world who took their valuable time to be here with us. Thank you very much. When you come to Spain, northern Spain, I promise you, you may not want to leave. It's a beautiful area in Spain. You may not want to go home. That I can promise you. And in closing, I want to say 3 sentences. Life is boring for boring people. Life is complicated for complicated people, in my opinion. But life is interesting for interesting people. And when I joined Toastmasters, life became very